You're tuned in to a Grown Folks production. In the mix with the commish, Nate.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special Press Pass Live on a random Thursday, but that's what we're doing tonight. There's been a lot of news, and so I think it would be important to do a Press Pass Live before Sunday. I've been just kind of arguing, like, should we go ahead and go live tonight? And then nobody was playing PUBG, nobody was doing anything. My game got canceled. Poor Twinkie had a sick kid, or has a sick kid, and so we have to delay our game a little bit. And so I was like, I've got nothing else to do. Let's go ahead and hop on and do a Press Pass Live. So I appreciate you checking this out. If you can do us a favor, it helps us out with YouTube. Hit the like button. If you are an adult gamer who's looking for an adult gaming community, we're mainly PlayStation 5, but we do have some PlayStation 4 and some Xbox community members, especially for some of our cross-platform games. Come check us out. If you're tired of playing with randoms, you're tired of playing with kids or angry people with no mics, come join us. You'll make some new friends. You'll play some games that you enjoy. And even if we don't have an actual physical community rolling for the game that you play, I know that we have people that play it. So come check us out and we'll get something started for you and get it rolling. But I think tonight is a great night to just kind of look at the standard of what the OMFL really stands for and kind of the foundations that we kind of have built this community from, not only in the OMFL, but the Grown Folks Online community. And I think the last couple of weeks, and especially the last 48 hours, has really honed that focus in for me. And I think we can talk about some of the new teams and some of the new owners and the possibility of those teams. So let's dive into some of the new owners. So we do have the Rams that are currently open. I am working on getting them filled. They're 1-11 right now, and so there's probably no rush to go ahead and get them filled. The pool of Madden players is pretty low right now, but we're going to do our part and go out there and get some guys kind of excited, looking for a community such as ours, and hopefully we'll get that team filled. So we're going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings tonight. Decatur Boss Hog, I think I'm saying that right. I'm doubtful that I'm saying that right. Who knows? But we're going to talk about him. He's a brand new owner that came up from the Deuce. And then two old-timey faces are returning to us. They're not physically old, at least that I know. I don't know how old they are. But Mr. Mo Deli, who has a championship here with the Tennessee Titans, he's back with us with the Seattle Seahawks. And then Cincy Burke, who I think also has a championship here and was a really dominant team in Cincinnati for many, many years. He's come over and taken the Cincinnati Bengals. And so those are our three brand new teams that we have that have joined in the last 24 hours. Again, I'm working on a couple of people to fill the Rams, and I think there's some really neat teams here that have a lot of potential. I'm going to start from the one that I think has the most intrigue, and that's with the Minnesota Vikings. A brand new owner. Let's see if we can get over here and look at some teams. How would we do that? Let's do it like this. Oh, no, that's not what we want. Let's go manage roster, NFL rosters. This is an owner that I actually know absolutely nothing about. I've got a guy, I just recently met him. It's called The Truth, but he also goes by this PSN name. There was another guy called The Truth, and I was like, wait a second, these are the same dudes? They're not the same dudes, but he's taken over a really great team. This team is by far the best team that we had open. It had the greatest foundation, and this is a playoff team right now. And now whether he can make them a playoff team, I don't know if they fit his style. I don't know anything about his style and about what he is, but I believe that he's able to take over a team that's kind of willing and ready to get him right there pushing for a championship. Hold on one second. Answering a quick DM. Sorry, I can't do two things at once. But the truth is taking over a team with an amazing quarterback, probably going to be a Hall of Famer in Sheldon Massey. This dude has everything that you would want a quarterback to have. He can throw it all around the field, and he can put it in really tight spots, and he's having a really, really great year. Dalvin Cook, 99 overall, 28 years old. What more can you ask? And then this little kid, Tracy Moss, this kid is outstanding. I just played this team last advance. This guy just feels like he's way faster than 92 speed. And so it gives him game breaker speed, even though on paper, Dalvin Cook is really the fastest guy. Sorry. Really good fullback, 75 overall, 27 years old. This guy's got plenty enough acceleration to get in the hole and open up holes. Denzel Mims is a superstar having a breakout season. Now, will that breakout season continue? We'll have to see. Again, new owner. Does the team fit his style? Does he fit the type of style that was being played? Paris Campbell's a really good wide receiver, a lot of speed in the starting lineup, kind of falls off after that. So he's got some kind of depth to be building there. But those two starters with this tight end and Irv Smith, they can get anywhere in the field. They've got a quarterback that can get it to them. And then they got the running game and the offensive line that they can really dominate you. I mean, they can really have their way with you up and down the field as long as they don't make any mistakes. It's hard for me to judge offensive line because they usually all kind of play average. I mean, some of the guys can play a little bit better than the rest, but I think playing this team, it felt like their offensive line was plenty good enough. 76 overall at left tackle, 82 at left guard, 76 at center, 75 at right guard, and 82 at right tackle. But yet they were open, tons of holes, plenty of time in the pocket to be protected, and plenty of time for them to do, what they wanted. Looking at the defense, Daniel Hunter, LSU player, superstar, stud. This guy gets after the quarterback, can make all the plays. Not really a whole lot to add there. Mike Rudolph, a brand new rookie that's there in 80 overall, 86 speed. Those are two bookend defensive ends that can get after the quarterback and give you a lot of pressure coming off of those edges right up the middle. Michael Pierce, this guy makes plays. He was making plays all over the field. Leonidas Patsutsky, I'm probably messing that up. I'm terrible with names. These four defensive linemen getting up there in age a little bit, not terrible though. They can make plays and they can fly around the ball. Addison Young, he was a Pro Bowler last year, plenty of speed, plenty of overall, young player. Kendricks, he can still fly around, 86 speed, 90 acceleration, 94 overall. I know he's 31, but he's still making tons of plays for this defense, and he can get sideline to sideline. Jalen Smith comes over from the Dallas Cowboys, 87 speed, 89 acceleration. Again, a speed defense that has some physicality and guys that can make plenty of plays. Looking at the cornerbacks, he's got two stud cornerbacks right out of the box. You could probably even put Mike Hughes in there with his 90 speed and 80 overall. He can cover really well. But these two guys here, And this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. 94 speed, 93 acceleration. He was a rookie 2 seasons ago. I think he won Rookie of the Year. Could be wrong about that. He's definitely in the running. And then Murphy Bunting comes over from Tampa Bay, and 2 lockdown corners. Diggs flies around at safety. Really hard to try to get over the top because he can get back there and he can make plays. Xavier Woods brings the wood, no pun intended, but he can separate you from the ball, plays really great run defense. This is a very, very difficult team to run on. And then just looking at draft picks, he's got Dallas's first rounder. He's got his own first rounder, his second. He's missing the third there, but he's got plenty of picks here. And those 2 first rounders are going to give him tons of ammo to kind of do whatever he would like to do with this team as he moves into the offseason. But this season still sits with a lot of potential with him and his team. Let's go look at the Seahawks. Is this is Mo. Yeah, Mo is taking over the Seahawks. Again, a roster that was built by Bill before he had to leave, and then luckily we were blessed enough that he came right back. Thankfully that his family situation is good. Aging quarterback, but still a guy that can be mobile. He can toss it down the field. 90 throw power is plenty good enough, especially with those speedy receivers who break through the press, and he can get it over the top on them really, really fast. Looking at his halfbacks, Carson can get it done. Penny can still get it done. Nobody here really jumps off of the page, and that's maybe an area that he can go out and build this roster. From what I remember about Mo, he's a really good passer, but he likes to run the ball, and so he's probably going to go out and make a move for a little bit more of a running back that fits his style. I mean, what are you going to talk about fullbacks? They are what they are. But then you get to these wide receivers, and these are 3 of the best receivers that you're going to see anywhere. But you could argue probably one of the top 5 sets of receivers from top to bottom. Metcalf is big. He's strong. He's fast. You cannot press him. If you press him, I don't care who your cornerback is, he's blowing right past the press. At least back in Bill's day, he would drop it right over the top on you and make you pay and push you deep. You know, Mo has got some kind of dust to knock off here. He's got to get used to this team, but it would not surprise me if Metcalf just continues to shine under Mo's leadership. And then Tyler Lockett, I mean, Lockett is who he is. This guy's got speed. It's funny because when you, at least for me, when I look at this team, I think, well, Lockett's the speedster, but clearly DK Metcalf is the superstar of this team. But Lockett still gets it done at 30 years old. He is a great route runner on like those deep post routes, those deep corner routes, those deep crosser routes. He gets behind you pretty quick. Over at tight end, nothing super duper sexy. I like Everett. He is 29, but he's got plenty of speed. So maybe there's a little bit of work that needs to be done there at the tight end spot. Again, offensive line kind of is what it is now. That's probably a weak spot here. Left guard, you got a rookie 69 overall starting, but you do like the 90 strength. Everyone else, you know, Damian Lewis, great player, but still, 81 overall. Luwan, he's getting up there in age, though, at 32, but he is 84 overall. So kind of an average offensive line with a few highlight pieces. Probably going to have to do some work on that side of the ball pretty soon. Now, this team, I think overall, out of the box, we're in season 3 of this Madden, right, was getting older. And so they're getting even older, especially on the defensive side. And I didn't follow the Seahawks, but we're going to walk through their team. He's got a really nice one here in Brandon Favors. I think Beal was actually the person who went out and drafted this kid. 83 overall, 80 speed, 88 acceleration. Melvin Ingram moving from linebacker down to a 4-3 defensive end. He can still get it done. The 79 speed kind of stinks, but look, he's just got to get to the quarterback. He doesn't have to be super fast. I really like Brian Underwood. I think he can get some playing and probably should get some playing ability. I like his kind of raw stats. I love his 80 strength, 83 speed, 92 acceleration, 77 block shed. He's 22 years old. He's raw, but he's got some abilities there. You kind of like what they have here in the middle. They're getting a little bit older, but there's still some nice players. Really like Brewer there, really nice player there that Bill drafted. And then this is where we probably see the bulk of people getting older. Bobby Wagner is 33 years old, still flies all around the field. He's a playmaker. He thumps you every time you catch the ball. He's been kind of replaced by this combination of Ellis, Brooks, Perriman. There's kind of a variety of guys that kind of get to start here. A lot of speed, though, a lot of strength. I mean, you like what you see here in Mark Ellis. I'm assuming this guy was an import from someone. I don't think he was from Seattle, but I can be totally wrong about that. And then Malik Reed is going to be on the other side. Over at cornerback, you got some really nice cornerbacks. Jones, Flowers, Reed. That's not anybody that you're going to be embarrassed about throwing out there. And then you've got a lot of speed here, some lower overall guys. But look, by the time you start playing, deep nickel and dime defenses, prevent defenses, you just need some guys that can run with the other speedy guys because they're not lining up against 99 overalls. Harrison Smith comes over, still makes tons of plays for them. He's got plenty of speed. I like Marquise Blair. He's got plenty of speed for that team as well. And then what can you not say about Jamal Adams? Still pretty young overall, 97, 95 speed. He thumps you. He brings it. He makes tons of plays for this team. And then look at the draft picks. He's got San Francisco's first and second round draft pick. So Mo is taking over a team that's going to be really loaded with some abilities to go out there and make moves or stay put and go and make some really good, solid draft picks. So we'll have to see exactly what Mo does. And then why am I drawing? Oh, Washington football team for Cincy. Do I have them mixed up? Nope, I don't. Let's get over here and look at the Washington football team. Makes a big trade for Justin Herbert. That's going to be a key piece for Cincy. Now, the question is, because Cincy is a real Bengals fan, can he keep him? Like, is it just like a mental thing? Like, I just got to get rid of this guy because he's from the Chargers. I don't know. We'll have to see. But if he keeps him, man, he's got speed. He's got throwing power. This kid can absolutely do it all. Gibson can get it done. 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 85 overall. He's only 3 years deep. Why am I not seeing? Oh, because I'm on depth chart. I was like, why am I not seeing his age? Plenty of other guys back here that are all pretty young, some decent playmaking ability. Since he does like to run the ball, he's going to be more of a passer, though. He's going to really spread them out, and I think that's where he's going to shine. He's got Hardman, he's got McLaurin, he's got Brown, he's got tons of speed. These two guys are going to be dangerous with Herbert. I would have liked to have seen how this team would have finished up in its old leadership, but with the new leadership, it becomes a really scary team, which is scary for the NFC because the NFC is already pretty loaded, and a lot of the changes that have happened to make the NFC possibly even stronger than what it already is. And so if you're in the NFC, I don't think I bear a lot of really great news. Danny Stecker, second year left tackle, 76 overall. We've already kind of talked about offensive lineman, 72 overall rookie there playing left guard, 70 overall Mason Cole playing center, 68 John Runyon playing guard, and then 72 overall Nathan Fitzgerald playing right tackle. So there's some work to do there for sure. It looks like they went really heavy in the last couple of drafts. So he's got some young pieces, but he's going to have to make a couple more moves there. Campbell getting much older. Not a whole lot else here. I mean, Settle is 66 speed. That's really going to hurt you. I guess playing this position, if he sticks with a 4-3, it's more going to be a run stopper. And so maybe Campbell's age doesn't bother you, or the 66 speed doesn't bother you. Or you just put in Zach Allen. He's got way more speed than Settle, but he's got a little bit more speed than Campbell. He's got just a little bit less strength, and he can probably still make plays over there. Chase Young is Chase Young. He's going to make tons of plays coming off the edge. And if you want two speedsters, even though he's not very strong, you could take James Smith-Williams and put him over at left end. Jonathan Allen, superstar. Deron Payne, superstar. This is a really, really good defensive line that can make plays in the run game, and hopefully that opens up a lot of opportunities in the pass game. What's up, Brady? Good to see you, man. Hope you're having a good night, buddy. I had to pause a couple times because I stink at reading and writing and trying to do this. I should have got over here, make this a little bit bigger instead of just staring at my big old head. Cody Barton, 26 years old, 74 overall, pretty decent speed, really nice acceleration. You really like his change of direction. Probably not somebody you want to always keep out there, but for right now, he's a pretty decent stopgap. 81 overall, Jermaine Davis, I really like him. 90 speed, 90 acceleration. I love this 74 strength. 69 awareness, you're going to want to get that up, but everything else looks pretty decent right there. Ashoni Zimes, 75 overall, 26 years old. He's got 80 speed, 83 acceleration. I like the 77 strength, but Ben Burke-Irvin probably is the speedster that you're going to put out there. You've actually got Hudson here that's also a speedster. So two little bit lower overall guys. They're going to be a little bit weaker, but they're going to give you that speed. And so he's got a couple tools that he can move around there. At cornerback, man, he's got a good one here in Jerry Peters. This was an import that came over with him. 93 overall, 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 93 change of direction. I mean, the zone coverage can still use some work, but this guy can cover just about anyone. But then it kind of starts to drop off. 76, 78 overall. We'll get it out. Mackenzie Alexander, 88 speed. That's pretty tough. That's tough to stick out there against some of the really, really big-time players. That's going to be kind of a scary proposition. So he's got some work to do at cornerback. At safety, though, Cameron Curl, this guy can play. 82 overall, 82 change of direction. Probably not the speed that you want, but he's got great awareness, great play recognition, and great zone coverage. And this guy here, Jaden Hoffman, a rookie last year, he's got some really nice playmaking ability. I don't know what he's got at strong safety. We're about to look, but you could even start both of these guys if you chose to. Oh, that's right. He drafted Drayton. This dude was a superstar. So he's got some really nice cornerbacks. I'd even think about, could you take Derek Forrest and bump him in to cornerback? His zone coverage stinks at 62. 67 man coverage, though, with the speed, maybe that's workable. I don't know. He's got some work to do there. Looking at his draft picks, he's got all of his draft picks, which I always feel good about because I just hate when guys take over brand new teams and they don't have any draft picks. It just feels like there's not a lot there to work with when they don't have all of their draft picks. So it's good to see that he's got all of his draft picks. Those are the teams, the new guys that are coming in. We can look at the Rams owner once we get them filled. I'm kind of working on that right now. I think the biggest hurdle for all three of these guys, I know that Mo and Cincyberg have been here in the past, but FPR has changed, and it's gotten like a little bit tighter in some areas, a little bit looser in some areas, but those were two owners that had their moments with FPR. But I do trust in our system, and so I've already started getting messages of people being concerned, about some of the FPR issues that we might see introducing a new crop of owners. And we probably will see that. Look, we've been spoiled for the last probably 3 years, 3 human years. We haven't had a ton of movement. This Madden has been the most movement probably in the last 3 or 4 years. But rewind 3 years ago, there was no deuce. there was no real system outside of just finding randos, getting them to read our rules, take a quiz, and play somebody. And that didn't always tell the story. They usually played a half of football. If they messed up on some things, they got some feedback, they got to replay. But can you really tell how someone's going to play with a half of football? Probably not. And so we are just kind of back in that place right now. The Deuce is totally drained, and we got to rebuild the Deuce. We got to rebuild the OMFL with our owner pool. I'm out there doing what I normally do, trying to stir people up. But when you look at these message boards, whether they're League Crawler, Daddy Leagues, the EA Sports, even Twitter, it's pretty dry out there. It's pretty bare bones, and I have personally have not had a lot of success using some of the recruiting discords that are out there. It just ends up being, hundreds of guys promoting their own thing, right? As they should, right? But we haven't personally received a lot of owners. I don't think we've gotten any ever from any of the Discord channels that we're in. So we're just going to continue to promote what we're doing on Twitter. We're going to continue. What's up, Penguins? Good to see you, buddy. We're going to continue to look for owners, and I just have faith that you put out good energy, you put out a good product, you stay the course, and it'll happen. And if it doesn't happen, we'll have a Rams team open for the next 2 seasons, and it kind of is what it is, and that's where we will be. But that rarely happens here. It's happened in seasons where maybe for the rest of a season or whatnot, teams are open. But I have faith that what we're doing is the right thing, and we're going to stay the course and right the ship. And ultimately, this may just be a Madden that we don't play into the summer, and we just can't kind of get there. We couldn't last Madden. We took a little bit of a break. We did a test league for fun. It was just really laid back. And so we're going to do what we got to do. We're going to continue to let the community tell us what we should and shouldn't do. And we'll continue to kind of make those spaces to find owners. So I'm excited about having some new blood. I hear you. For those of you that are worried about FPR, I fully expect to see FPR issues. Even the person I'm working on is kind of brand new, well, not brand new, but fairly new to like CFM sim leagues with rules. And you remember, we're an adult league, and if guys have been playing Madden for 22 years, whatever, they're probably not playing from birth, but if they've been playing for 15 years or whatnot, one way, no rules, just play the game, there's a learning curve there. And so we'll see. I trust our system. Again, I believe, these guys have earned an opportunity to come back. What's up, Kev? Have earned an opportunity to come back, and I fully believe in our system and our people, and I know that the OMFL will do their part to help some of the new guys get up to speed with the expectations of gameplay, and we'll do what we got to do, and it always works out in the end. And I think I've learned a lot. I mean, look, I think I was going to kind of save some of this for Press Pass Live, and I may bring it back up on Press Pass Live. I kind of made a decision that what I put in Discord, I'm not doing. I'm going to talk about what we are and who we are, because I don't need to tear down to lift up. And so one of the things that I was going to talk about on Press Pass Live that I'll mention here is that, like, this is a group of men who are very resilient. And every single one of you watching this, whether I really, really know you, or you just kind of know me as the guy who, advances us or whatever and sends out messages and make content, or maybe you're brand new and you don't really know me at all. I said this in Discord, and I think it's true. I think, number one, all of you are resilient. You all have your own stories, and you all had to overcome things in your life, and like me, you've had to overcome possibly really big obstacles, and when you put a group of really resilient people together, it creates a resilient community. And we've hit up some bumps in the road, and there's some tensions, and there's some weird things going behind the scenes, but I think what I've learned the most about all of this is about myself, and teaching myself again, because I think I've learned this lesson multiple times. That's a great thing I think about God and my relationship with God and leading people, in both my professional life, in my spiritual life as a pastor, and then here, you don't let me finish that statement. You get to retake tests until you finally learn them. Like, he's so merciful and graceful, and every tough thing, resilient thing, difficult situation creates an opportunity to learn, to be better, to push through, to be resilient. And I've learned a lot in the last couple months. This whole Madden has been really a tremendous learning opportunity. And in the last 48 hours, I've learned even more, and that is that you don't have to respond to everything. And I think that's going to be a new thing that I'm really going to work hard to, is like, here's the layers that I think I'm really starting to have my aha moment in the OMFL. And then I'm going to get over to kind of some of our values. But my aha moment here in the last, this Madden basically, but really in the last 48 hours has been, we're all humans living in a pandemic, and that's affected every single one of us in a totally different way. And some light, some heavy, whatever. Everybody has their really passionate feelings about it. My gosh, sorry. It's been 40 minutes talking, so I need some water. Look, you read the news. Violence in cities is rising. People are fatigued. They're over it. There's frustration building, either with work tensions, financial tensions, marriage tensions, the tensions if you have kids in school, to vaccine to not vaccine, mask to not mask, the fights, the families, like all of it. It is a lot right now. And that comes out in behavior. This is why we're seeing violence rise. When people get to these really bad places in their life, they make really unhealthy decisions. And so we're doing that. We're trying to play a game that we enjoy. There's going to be normal, like in a perfect world, there's normal conflict for a third layer. So first layer is pandemic. Second layer is Madden has sucked just overall. It has not hit kind of the mark that people had wanted. And then the third layer is that we're online. And this is not a real place. It's like Twitter. It's not real. It's not tangible, but doesn't make it not important. It still carries weight. It still carries impact. It still is involving real elements. But the place itself, you can't feel it. You can't touch it. No one can go to grown folks' address and call their phone number and send it mail. It doesn't exist. And so when you have the internet layer, there is the removal of humanity and being human towards each other and treating each other in a human way. And then we play a game that we're passionate about, and you put passionate, competitive people. We're dudes, we're men, juices are flowing, testosterone's flowing. You've maybe got pressures, maybe no pressures, but some of us have pressures at work and at home and finances and relational. And some of us have all of that at once. And then there's COVID and parent. There's like all of the things in real life playing a competitive game. We're passionate. We're dudes. We want to win. All bubbles up to what sometimes boils over. It's normal. It's natural. It's going to happen. And I think the problem is that it's internet. And so since we don't physically talk to one another, and most of you don't see each other, I mean, you see me here, but most of us don't physically see each other, don't even know what each other look like most of the time. Those three elements have created like a whirlwind of hard feelings, tough feelings. I was literally called a dictator on Twitter, which I find comical, and I will not even respond to. They perfectly misspelled it like, a sixth grader would if they're trying to make a funny joke. I appreciate the cleverness, but it was hidden behind, I said I wasn't going to respond. Here I am responding. So scratch it. I'm not even going to give it any attention. What I'm trying to get to is that we're in this place that it will only find a strong finish with intentionality. And the things that have happened have only caused me to be more focused, more driven to see this thing to success. And what I mean by success is by finishing Madden 22 off strong and ready to go for Madden 23. And I'm also in a very peaceful place. And this isn't a threat. And it's not. It is just take it at face value. It is what it is. That if everyone decides to walk away and things come to a place where no longer we're going to be a community, I'm okay with it. We almost got to season 100. I do believe that we will get to season 100. But I've done it for over 20 years, and I've done what most people, me and a really great group of humans, different ones over the years, have built a really amazing community. And even right now, the grown folks community as a whole is a really cool place and a really special place that was created by a lot of humans who kind of bought in to the same vision. And I'm okay if if um, if it comes to a close, because again, it's not a real place. And if Nate walks away tonight, and this is the last time you ever see from him or hear from him, or the last time grown folks exist, which it won't be because I'll be a video gamer and probably till I can't ever, and I'll still be streaming and doing my thing. You guys will be fine. I'll be fine. Everyone will be fine. It'll suck for a couple of days, but then the suckage will go over, and we all move on with our lives because we all have real life things. With that said, I wanted to spend some time really quick looking at our core values. So let me pull this up real quick. Here we go. Let me pull up our core values. I think this is so important. And I probably don't spend enough time talking about this. And I think what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks is I'm going to try to start doing way more content than just Saints and Sinners. I love streaming my games, and I'll keep doing that. But I'm probably going to back off of some of the other games just slightly, not a lot, but just enough to do some all 22s, really dig into what FPR expectations are and where people struggle. And tomorrow morning, I plan on going live with a Grown Folks Live. I think it would be fun if I can do a Friday morning drive to work sports show talking about the community. And then I want to do more Press Pass Lives. Sometimes they're just going to be just chatting ones where we're just sitting here chatting. And whatever you put in the chat, we're going to talk about. And there's lots of stuff we can talk about. Streaming things that are coming out and like items, new games. There's all kinds of stuff. Or we can just sit here and talk about where we are in the OMFL. Before I dive into this, let me say, I don't want to miss anybody. So let me pull this up. I find myself really blessed that I've been given the opportunity to create a place that you all decide to use your spare time at. And some of you have put up with uncomfortable conversations with me. Again, I have struggled with the internet thing and maybe not understanding that my typed message doesn't come the way I want to. And sometimes I'm a jerk. I'm a human. I'm a flesh. And though I try to be like Jesus every day, I fall really, really short some days, and I feel really bad, convicted about it. And I pray and I change. And I don't think anyone here can say that I've never not apologized. I'm quick to apologize. There is maybe Kev. I don't know. We'll have to see, bud. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's a story maybe for me and you on the side. I will still play. I just don't know if I'm getting off track. I don't know if that's the place anymore. Anyway, there's a new WWE game coming out anyway. There's going to be some fun stuff to go with that. So we probably see some new content with that. What I was trying to say is I'm blessed that there is a Kevin here and there is a Penguins here and there's a Mo here and there was a guy, Mountain Mike, that's in our Hall of Fame, and Brahma Bull, and there was a 00 for 20 years, and there's a Dwayne, and there's just like so many like really awesome dudes, and I've been lucky to be a part of that, right? I've been really, really lucky that I get to do that, and I feel like really focused because of what's happened recently, and I feel really driven, and I feel like, man, I've got like right now 30 other owners who are like really awesome dudes, and they're here. And yeah, we might have some like FPR tensions that we got to figure out, but we'll figure them out, man. And not everybody's going to fit. And I think we've gotten to the end of the people who are going to exit, but maybe not. Maybe we have more. I don't know. As long as there's enough of you here that want to keep loading up and playing, we're going to keep making content and doing what we do. And once it gets to a point where everybody's like, we don't want to do this no more, then you know what? I'm really am at peace of what we've done. And I feel like what I've allowed to happen over the last few months is I've created in me this urge to scream about what I do and what I've created and what I've tried to give in hopes that would make people like recognize it and appreciate it. And it actually had the reverse effect. And so I'm just going to keep being me. I'm going to keep loving people. I'm going to be misunderstood, and it's okay. Jesus Christ had 12 people followed him. All 12 left, and he was God. One of them stabbed him in the back and murdered him. If God himself robed in flesh is going to experience that, I'm not Jesus. I'm way lower than any Jesus. And so I can only expect that I'm going to experience that in my life. So right now we have Dwayne. I'm going to brag about each of these guys individually. Dwayne has been, people often like wonder why I like brag on him so much and talk about him so much. And the fact is, this is just one of the kindest human beings. And he and I have disagreed on some things. And man, we've had some tense moments where he was shocked at how I came at him. I was shocked at how he came at me. And we had some tension, and we had to give each other some space. And overall, though, our relationship has always trended in the positive direction. And I've said this on Press Pass Live before, but the biggest thing about the OMFL, which we'll talk about, is loyalty. And Dwayne has been loyal to me and to this place, and also has been willing to tell me when I'm off base, when I'm wrong, and support me when he feels like we've done what's supposed to be done right. And I love that guy and appreciate that guy, and look forward to the day that I get to meet him and his wife. Denbrew. Actually, I'm going to hold off on Denbrew. I want to talk about Lil Koch. Lil Koch is not technically part of the board, but he runs the Deuce. And so because of that, he's in the board, and I ask for his opinion. I want his opinion. He's a leader here. He's a man who stepped in to a position that was almost like begged for. Like, we had no one that I trusted that like was a person of character and integrity that I thought could step into running the Deuce, and it needed that at that time. And he took over on the hardest Madden to try to build a league. Like, the last couple Maddens have created this thing where people are just done. Like, look at Twitter right now. A lot of people who were competitive Madden gamers haven't touched it in months. I know that's not sexy, but it kind of is what it is. And so Little Koch, a great leader, quiet. He and I don't interact a ton, but just steady, stays the course, plays by the rules, runs his league and his community. He puts the leaders around him and makes the best decisions that he can. Denbrew, if I have this right, a veteran, a leader among leaders, a man among mans. Probably all of these guys are 50 times the man than I am. These men like Denbrew are professionals like all of you, and successful, and just a rock and a foundation, and quick to give feedback where it's needed, but also very quick to support, and just tirelessly working. And Denbrew has the job that almost no one stayed at except for Bill, and that's just because Bill doesn't care. But scheduling is not easy. Making those calls sometimes is not black and white. The shades of gray, and sometimes you don't get all the information, but you got to make a quick call, and sometimes you just make the best call that you can, and some guys don't feel like it is the right call at the moment. If I'm honest with you, where a lot of these tensions that have happened here started was from that. Somebody wanted a call to be made. I needed to step in and make the call. I made the call, which is probably on me. I should have let Denbrew do his thing. That person didn't agree, and it's kind of snowballed to where we've gotten here tonight. So, Denbrew, tireless worker, great man, just great human, classy, just steady. You can a rock. You can count on him. One of my favorite people that I begged to come help, and that we found a position that would fit his time schedule. But now that he's like, he reminds me of Dwayne. He reminds me of Dawson. These are two guys that come to the top of my head of like, these were guys who didn't want to be. Kevin, you were one of them, right? Guys who didn't want to be like in a leadership role or on the board, and I just kept digging and digging and begging and begging, and then they jump in. And before you know it, they're like helping me. They're in the dues. They're over here. They're over there. They're like doing all kinds of things for the community. That's been Lost Sniper, and Lost has just been just again classy, just classy guy that you can count on, that has character, integrity. And this is just a good group of dudes. And then the grandpop of all of us, and I say that with a lot of love, the guy who honestly came out of nowhere for me, a guy that was running or part of leadership under Pooty, who's become one of my closest friends here, who will probably take this community from me one day when I finally do come to the end of my running the whole community, because Pooty's just a leader among the leaders. I don't think he'll ever watch this, but I just think the world of Pooty. Roger takes over the NBC from Pooty, and just again, integrity, character. Now Raj will tell you how it is, and Raj gets me in trouble with these gifts sometimes. And Raj is him with all of his personality, but resilient and strong, and pushes through physical illnesses, and he's recovering right now, and he's always there, and he's always got the right spirit, and he's always, me and him grinded on slider testing, and just, he's a good dude. And we have a group of really great men. Like, I don't take that like these are men. These are not boys. These are not internet figments of our imagination. These are men. These are professionals and fathers and husbands and these grandfathers, right? These are men. And those great men represent the great men that are here. And I get it. Sometimes we have interactions and we talk to each other not like men. That's that whole internet thing. That's that whole Madden frustrates us thing. That's that whole, we're in the middle of a pandemic and our behavior sometimes isn't what our normal behavior would be. But I still know that the owners here are men, and we won't always see eye to eye. We won't always agree. But I have always and will continue to always strive to treat people like men, and regardless of the labels that try to get put on you by people who have their own agendas. And that kind of brings me to what I've got here on the screen. I want to brag on those men, and I want to brag on you guys who spend your time here. And then we need to wrap this show up because I got to get up early in the morning. These are our values, right? These are the things that members, board members, these are the things that I crafted and don't talk about nearly enough, that are our foundation. These are the expectations. This is what I would call at work, what we train coaches to have is called a strict behavior code. Not rules. These aren't rules. This is the code, though. The code, the brother code of the OMFL. This is something that we all abide by. We all agree. And when we get out of line, we help bring each other back. We don't ostracize. We don't push out. We don't rule with an iron fist. That's always been the gimmick here. It's always been why some tension rises up, is because that Nate doesn't rule with an iron fist. That's not who I am. I'm going to be full of mercy and grace, and I'm going to give guys a zillion chances because we're human, and I know I need a zillion chances, and I believe you get what you give, and I'm just never going to be like, you don't owe me to play here. It's an honor to have you here. It's an honor that the OMFL is a thing in my life. I'm at peace when it's not, but it's a thing. It's a thing that I'm proud that we've all done together. First, our values, brotherhoods over championships. And this is hard because some of us really want championships, because championships reiterate what we think about ourselves as a winner, and it gives us I don't like any of these words, but the shine, the bravado, the sexiness of being a champion. Who doesn't want to be a champion? We all want to lift a championship banner. We all want one of those little trophies. That's why we play. Now, some of us care about it more than others, but we all care. And it's hard. It takes intentionality to set that aside and go, I care about you as a human more than I care about a video game, more than I care about a win. And maybe in this moment, I can't do that, right? Like maybe I need a couple days, right? It's okay. Go take a couple days. But that we have those conversations from the lens that the person is a person and they matter more than number one, winning. Feedback for all members. Share feedback, receive it, do what's best for the community. I know that FPR Court has its people who don't like it. That's fine. It is the way that I've created a space where we get real feedback, not just angry in the moment, petty feedback, which is what we were getting. I almost said something and I was like, say it, don't say it, say it, don't say it, say it, don't. You ever have that argument in your head? Say it, don't say it, say it. Some of you don't. Some of you just say whatever. But I know Proverbs tells me that a fool says whatever enters their mind, and a wise man swallows his words. And so I'm learning how to swallow my words better. Thank you, Penguins, for saying that. And look, it's I'm so torn about that statement. It's not that it isn't important. It is. Like that's what we play for. We want to be a champion. We want to be a winner. We want to say, out of all of these really great players, I was the best that season. But oftentimes that can get off course, and it takes intentionality to keep it from getting off course. Leave your agendas at the door. Be passionate, but willing to set your idea aside. It's hard for me. It's hard for all of us. But to recognize that you're all leaders, and so that's why I'm so protective of the chat. Now I've stepped back, but now that the negativity and the bad energy, the bullies are gone, doing the bully thing, I'm going to be back involved in my chat. It's my chat, and it's our chat, and it's our home. This is why I protect it, is because you are all leaders, and so you set the tone with your energy, with your words, and how you're kind of saying these things. And so it's really, really important, really, really important that we are passionate and have ideas, but know that the way we say things, when we say things, how we say things, it all matters. Strategic gameplay from every owner, held to a higher standard for board members. Playoffs are important and important games. That's why I struggle with some of the playoff games. Some of the board games have been tough to watch. FPR-wise, they've been terrible. And the boards had those conversations. We get it that when the competition rises up and you know that this is the last game of the season, I've earned this right to get here, maybe you're a little bit more lax, but those games have to be held to a high standard. Now, if you talk to some folks, a high standard means boot you if you make one mistake. I don't live in that world, and some people do, totally on them, but there has to be a standard for board members for playoff games, and that standard really should be the standard all the time. We just know that when the pressure gets ratcheted up, it's even more the standard. Constant communication. It just has to happen. You have to communicate in a healthy, protective, loving, like I guess all of those words feel like flush. You have to communicate like an adult, without a tone, without little words that take shots at people. Just like we don't need all that. As a board, we do more so that our owners can experience more. I'm really going to hold myself to this standard. I know I do a lot, but I'm going to try and do even just a little bit more within the realm of my real expectations of what I can do. Assume the best and not the worst of every owner and situation. This is tough. Can we just talk about it for real in life? That's hard, because some people we know have exhibited a behavior and a way of interacting with you that isn't healthy, that isn't good, that is maybe always negative or bad. And so what happens when you have those interactions here? What happens when your personalities don't mesh with the other personalities of someone you play in your division twice a season? you guys wouldn't be best friends and you wouldn't be buds and you don't have anything you think in common, and you don't like how they play and they don't like how you play, and there's this tension, and it just gets uglier and uglier every season. It's easy to think that dude did that just to ruin my day. That dude said that just because he was trying to mess with me. And it can be really hard. I struggled with it. Is it important to know we all have real lives? We all have real things going on. And some of us have heavy stuff, maybe sometimes mental heavy stuff, physical heavy stuff, family heavy stuff, financial, personal, whatever. We all have heavy things. It's heavy for all of us in different ways. And so sometimes it has less to do with me and my game and more to do that person had a lot going on in their lives at that moment. And so when you go into a conversation assuming the best and not the worst, usually you get a better outcome from that situation. Expectations. Be on the forums and chat. We know this. The league, I don't hold people to this, but I expect the owners of the OMFL, this is your number one place. This is the argument, the internal argument, because we know the situation. I'm not going to talk about it, but a group of dudes here for many weeks have been building a core to go restart a dead league. So much that I want to be just as petty as the people who were petty at me and be petty right back, but petty doesn't help it is what it is, guys. And so I'm not going to give them the energy. But knowing that that is a situation that's out there, and some of you watching this are going to go run tell. Some of you watching this are the people that we know did what you felt like you had to do. And if it is, I wish you no harm. Good luck, man. I hope you're there for 20 years. I really do. I'm just glad that you guys are happy. But knowing that situation's out there is what it is. There's another league out there. It's probably the one league that I get really uncomfortable. Now there's two that I get really uncomfortable when we share owners. I am not here to tell people in the free world where they can and cannot play a video game. I have no interest in that. Zero interest. Don't care. Do what you want with your life. You do what you want, your money, your life, your relationships, your job. I am not your pastor. I am not your daddy. I am not your God. I have no interest in stepping into any of those roles for you. With that said, there's a standard here, and the standard is that this is the priority, and that's what I'm trying to build. And not always are we going to have owners where this is the priority. They play in multiple places. They have other leagues that are their home league, and we're the second league, we're the third league, we're the ninth league, whatever the case may be. We're trying to still be people's number one league. So we have the commitment, we have the buy-in, we have the content, we have the love, the passion. People are promoting what we are. And I think we've gotten away from that the last couple of Maddens. And for a couple of Maddens, we were fine. But now this Madden, we've seen how that's kind of reared its ugly head. And the reason this has to be your number one place is because we want that buy-in. I want people to treat other people in this league as if they'll see them tomorrow because it's their number one place. If this is my ninth league, then I'll just treat people however I want to treat, and I'll talk to them however I want to talk to them because I'll just leave. Speak to other owners in a kind manner, assuming the best and not the worst in every situation. People struggle with that. I struggle with that. We're human, but that's what we have to strive for. Open lines of communication, talking to me, talking to Denbrew whenever there are issues that need to be dealt with. Be a problem solver. Drives me insane when people point out problems but have no solutions. And part of the negative energy that we have had for maybe the last two Maddens has been problem pointer outers and not problem solvers. And so being a creative problem solver, willing to figure out how do we fix this scheduling issue? How do we fix this FPR issue? How do we fix this issue with Madden? And how can I bring creative solutions? Help build a culture, protect that culture, and uphold these community values. Knowing enough is enough. Talking to Nate here, You got to know when enough is enough. You got to know when to walk away from a conversation, when to give it space, when to let it breathe, when to let people calm down, come back when you're both in better places. Those are the expectations. Conflict is not fun. It's not easy. It's why I do FPR the way that I do it, so that we can all do it on the up and up, in the open. There are no side conversations. If they are, they're going to come out in public where everybody can see what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. I'm not trying to break out a bunch of biblical scriptures tonight, but it's true. And that's what conflict is. It's hard. It's difficult. It takes, sometimes you don't have the energy or the desire to work through conflict, but we have seen people make mountains out of molehills. And when it all dies down, I'm sorry I'm stuffed up tonight. When it all dies down and cooler hills prevail, it's like, I wish I wouldn't have done that, sent that message, said that thing, wasn't worth it. Let's get to a place where we know when enough is enough, when to let cooler heads prevail, and how to handle conflict in an appropriate manner. These are just the board responsibilities. You can go and read those on your own. Really, what I wanted to talk about was our core values. We are going to hit season 100 one way or the other. We're going to get there. Exactly what that looks like, I have no clue. Who will be with us and not be with us, I don't care. And I say that not from the perspective I don't care, because I do. I care about the people. But no one can throw nothing at me that, like, we're going to keep going forward, and we're going to be successful as we have been for 20 years. And there'll be a lot more mistakes made. A lot more misunderstandings will happen. There'll be other owners leave. No owner stays forever. No one ever has. I haven't. I've taken breaks and left and came back and had disagreements over things that I couldn't overcome, and so I need to step away. And so this is hard. When humans are involved in anything, it's hard. This is hard work, and I have really had my why challenged. And at the same time, the last 48 hours has made me come to peace with where I am as a human. And there are more important things than the Grown Folks Online community. It's definitely part of my life. It's definitely part of my calling and my purpose on this planet. And I will do it for as long as the Father allows me to, as long as y'all allow me to, as long as humans are willing to be here. But the Grown Folks is not my life. My life is my amazing wife who puts up with me. I was sharing with her all the stories that have been happening, and she's my bulldog. She's always there to be there for me. And it sucks going through this sometimes, and it hurts. Like I'm a softie. Like I'm real soft. Like I'm Charmin baby poop soft. Like I'm soft. That's just how I am. That's how I'm made. That's how I'm created. I have no interest in changing that. That's why I do the work that I do. I've been working in youth ministry for almost 20 years now. I've been working in ministry for a little longer than that. I've been leading ministry for over 17 years. I've been working with BIPOC communities, underserved communities, underprivileged kids for the last 7 years, working with coaches for the last 7 years. The reason I do that type of work, the reason I do the things I do is because I'm soft, and because I grew up in a really tough situation and really tough background. And because of that, I try to create as many opportunities for people. So for those of you who wish maybe I was a little harder on owners and removed owners a little quicker, maybe dropped the hammer a little quicker than maybe what you would, this is why. This is because I create lots of opportunity for mercy and grace. And my hope always is the best, that people in that moment will have an aha moment and come back around. And sometimes it's cyclical, right? It's a tough moment, aha moment, they come back around, then sooner or later we get back to another tough moment. It's on edge, and we, things go cyclical. It happens. So, Grown Folks Live tomorrow morning. I'm thinking I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a shot. Probably won't be a super long show. We're going to talk about some Warzone 2 that's being hinted, the new PUBG updates. We're going to talk about any other news that's out there. Maybe even talk a little sports, just kind of hang out. But tonight I was like, look, There's no PUBG. At least I didn't see anybody in the chat. Yeah, there's no PUBG. There's my game got canceled. Let's do a Press Pass Live. I feel like we can inject some positive energy, and it is what it is, guys. I'm more settled now than ever. That we're gonna figure this thing out, man. You too, Kev. I love you, buddy, and I appreciate you. So we're gonna come wrap this thing up. I'm gonna go get my butt in bed. I thank you guys for hanging out with me on a very impromptu Press Pass Live tonight. We'll be back on Sunday for a real Press Pass Live. Brady's itching to get the news out, and hopefully we'll get this last team filled. So, guys, have a great rest of your week. Have a good Friday, and if you're around tomorrow morning, come hang out. All right, peace and love, guys. We'll see you.
Smash that like and subscribe.